This is where we conduct our speeches, and they take it very seriously, the speakers. They prepare and come, and we exchange our views.
Friends, Hinduism, has great respect for the environment. But despite this reverence, the natural resources are under heavy pressure because of a growing economy and population growth. This has led some scholars to raise questions and examine the role religious communities can play in environmental protection.
So what is the problem of the environment in the world? Problem is the 80-20 problem. So 80% of the world's resources are consumed not by 80% of the people living in India, China, or all over the world, but they are consumed by us living in this country, right? So 20% of the population living in the western part of the world is consuming 80% of the resources. This is the root cause of the environmental problems, not people in India and China, and the rest of the world consisting of the 80% of the population takes only 20% of the. So the real population problem is us, is in America. Those who consume, those who live, I think I have a next quote in the next slide. Before that quote, there is this slide that even the so-called famous environmentalists, if we look at their own lifestyle, that would shame anybody living in any other parts of the world. So this is a banner by PETA, People for Ethical Treatment of Animals. We try to translate dharma as religion, which is a big problem, right? Dharma is not just religion, dharma is righteousness, dharma is duty, dharma is virtue, cosmic order, and religion. So I try to prefer to use the same word, dharma, which is now part of the Oxford English Dictionary. Dharma is an English word now. So please do not try to substitute dharma with religion, even in our own daily language. Use dharma as dharma, because when we use dharma, we include all these different meanings, even when we are speaking English.
We are here in these beautiful environs to celebrate our annual Earth Day. We combine our annual event to go with the Earth Day, and it's located in this beautiful congregation. It's called the Unitarian Universalist congregation.
Live very simplistic life, simple life, and to help save the planet. Not just to save the planet, but to really to connect our consciousness with divine consciousness. That's the ultimate goal, right? That environmentalism is just a byproduct, but to be able to live the dharma with those awareness around us, within us, about consciousness, the divinity in us, divinity in everybody, divinity in plants, divinity in stones, divinity in rivers, divinity in every particle, really. So that is the main teaching of our tradition, as exemplified by Gandhiji and many other rishis. So that main goal is to be able to live that spiritual life. Environmentalism is just a byproduct, right?
That is probably true, and it again depends on how you understand it. But the way you are increasing understanding of people about Indian way of living, I don't know from where you came up with the declaration that India is more green as compared to Western countries. But if you just where we are standing in America, the kind of greenery that you have, I don't know at how many places you have similar kind of consciousness of cleanliness and respect of environment in day-to-day life. So what was that study?
Yeah, so yeah, when I try to present Indian view of environmentalism, I just don't say, oh no, we are the best and we are the greatest. No, it's not true. If you go to any big cities in India, we know that it's full of pollution and full of all kinds of traffic and pollution and diseases and whatnot. But the point is that, and the survey is not conducted by me, it's conducted by National Geographic magazine, one of the most established, reputed name in magazine and in topics on geography and environment and so on. So they conducted this survey in 2008 first time, and they compared US and UK and Brazil and China and India and many other countries in about 14-15 major economies of the world. And they found that Indians still live the greenest life in the world. In terms of the housing needs they have, the kind of houses they have, kind of transportation that they use, kind of food that they eat, and kind of consumer goods that they buy. In 4 of those indices, Indians are still the greenest in 2008. Then I was curious, just before coming to give this talk, I took a look again at their website and found that, again, for 3 years consistently, Indians have been the greenest in the planet, in the entire world. The way of life that Indians live in India is still the greenest in terms of these 4 major indices. So that tells us that what is this lifestyle that even if given a chance, many of people they live still very simple life. Even if they have abundant money, many of the, especially Vaishnav families that I know of in Rajasthan, Gujarat, they have lot of money, but they will still live very, very simple, vegetarian, very traditional lifestyle, not to go out of the way to show off their wealth, but they still are very connected to their roots. So what is that roots? What are those roots? That is what is my research. So that the roots are, I think that, again, vegetarian food, to be able to live the dharmic life, to be able to do whatever wealth they have, to be able to share with greater community, the idea of ahimsa, idea of karma, idea of dharma, idea of punarjanam. So the way they see this interconnection with the entire community and entire universe is very inherent in their way of life. They may not be conscious about it, but they are living by those principles.
It's certainly an honor to join with you today to celebrate Earth Day and Diversity. I absolutely enjoyed Dr. Jin's presentation here, where he spoke about incorporating the principles of religion with the principles of Earth Day, which is we have but one Earth. We have but one limited resources that benefit us, but that we must be careful to pass on to future generations. We have to protect them. In government, I'll add that facet to today's discussion on the earth, on Hindu religion, and how that should work together. I'm going to talk about a little bit how government can do its part to advance, both those goals, which are noble goals. The foundational principle of it is to respect, not only respect one another, but to respect the resources that have been bestowed on us. And I take that seriously in government. Since taking office, we took a look at how we can become more green. Dr. Jin spoke about the concept of green. I think there was a learned question in the audience about the popularity of the word green here in America versus in other parts of the world. But that is the up-and-coming concept, not only because it's necessary to protect our limited resources, but it is indeed a job creator for our future. It is something that is studied now in our colleges and our universities. It is a field now where you can seek employment and make a career out of becoming green. If you're an engineer, you learn new ways to incorporate the LEED standard, as they call it, a particular standard that you incorporate in building new buildings and become more green by using renewable resources. And most importantly, I think today, as we see gas prices rising, and we see our oil prices rising, and more difficult just to maintain your business and home from a utility perspective.
Office do the same for us?
Well, we'd be happy to discuss with you how you could partner and utilize one of our facilities. All of our facilities that are county-owned are open to all our citizens.
Every year when we have this event, we put a plant on the property here at the UCC, and we'd like you to make the symbolic gesture for us.
When you were growing up, what was the top priority in your mind when you were thinking about fashioning, designing your life?
I didn't believe, I wasn't called for a government career. I wasn't thinking about a government career. I was thinking about becoming an attorney and practicing law. And public service, the calling to public service came. The more and more I practiced, the more and more I interacted with the community, I found how important it was to respect the environment. We had a lot of environmental contamination issues in my community, and that's what got me into government, spurred my interest in government, is trying to clean up the environment that was in my community. And lo and behold, we're celebrating Earth Day here today, and it ties in. The respect that we need to have for Mother Nature and our environment is very important.
There are very few public officials like you who are in politics where you are kind of in a competitive world of a different kind, and yet you manage to maintain a sense of serene calmness around you. So very down-to-earth kind of approach towards life and towards work. And you mentioned about respecting the resources. And I believe in order to execute this idea, you need certain personality traits. You need some approach with which to execute whatever you are doing. Do you think that can be inculcated? Is there any way which can help people imbibe those qualities which help in respecting resources?
Absolutely. The best way to do it, believe it, in my estimation, is to get involved in your community. Get involved in the things that you care about, and begin to understand how important it is to respect our environment, to make certain our resources are here not only for our generation but for future generations. And I think you'll be amazed at how much impact you can have individually to help us collectively here have a better world.
Very briefly and real quick, your response as we stand here. Mainly we have the visuals of Mississippi River overflowing, or we are still talking about the important event in the field of terrorism, the killing of Osama bin Laden. And when you see these Afghanistani images with beautiful surroundings, and yet there are blasts and all those. So what these events be challenges brought to us by nature or by terrorists? What they teach us?
Well, there's, it's just sad that in this day and age there's still that type of conflict out there. There's still that type of anger, and there are people out there that will sacrifice our natural resources in pursuit of their goals. Violence is not the answer. You know that, I know that, and boy, 4-year-old children know that violence is not the answer. We have to come together, respect our resources, come together, understand our differences, and understand, more importantly, how we're more alike than different. Stop focusing on the differences and begin focusing on how we are alike. We're alike because we care about providing a better future for our sons and daughters. We understand that it's our onus to deliver a better world to the next generation. We can't do that if we're fighting, if we're destroying natural resources, if people are dying. It's not right. We have the intellect, we have the resources now to do the right thing, and now's the time to come together.